Hi everyone, I'm Belle, and this is day 7 of the Tarot and Oracle card reading that I'm doing. Today I'm going to be doing a reading using 5 cards from the Shadowscapes Tarot. I'm also going to draw an additional 3 cards from the Goddess Inspiration Oracle by Chris Walder. These are really beautiful cards too. Both decks are really great. Okay, before I start, I'd like to share a reflection I was just having, kind of an epiphany. I've always kind of contemplated what the nature of forgiveness is. I think a lot of people do that. You're just wondering to yourself, like, what does forgiveness really mean, and how can that really work for me in my life in a way that's still authentic to my real feelings? And I'm a recovering perfectionist. In fact, if I was still such a perfectionist, I wouldn't even be able to make these videos, because I'd be too worried about everything being just right. So I was thinking that if there's a spectrum, perfectionism is the opposite of forgiveness, because perfectionism is insisting that things go a certain way, and forgiveness is having the flexibility to let things happen the way they happen, and to be accepting and okay with the way things actually happen. So that gave me some new insight into the nature of forgiveness, because I wasn't sure about what forgiveness really means sometimes. Anyway, so that's the insight to start off with. Now what I'm going to do is shuffle these cards a little bit and see what comes up. See what I draw. I've already shuffled them before this, but I'll shuffle them a little bit more. So I'm starting again with the Shadowscapes Tarot. Oops. I'm like messing with the keyboard as I'm doing this. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay, I'm going to draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And I'm just going to uncover them one at a time. So I'll be surprised too. And again, I only do the card readings for inspiration, so please think for yourself and just use your own interpretation of things and just live the way you want to live. I'm not trying to say that the cards should be taken a certain way. I'm just interpreting them one way they could be interpreted. It's for inspiration only. Okay, the first card is King of Swords. Here's King of Swords. And he looks like he's being kind of pensive. He's almost like in that stance of the thinker or something from that statue. But he also has, like Hamlet or something, he has his boots resting on a skull. So I feel like that's kind of like a little bit morbid. And there are all these crows around. So I feel like it's kind of getting in touch with like the shadow side of life, or kind of a darker side of life that's a little bit more ominous and a little bit more morbid. But that's what I would say about that. It seems like a little bit of an ominous card. Okay, the next card is, wow, this is a kind of ominous or shadowy reading. The next card is 8 of Swords. And here you have this like weird figure at the top who seems kind of like a shadow. Then you have this trapped swan, looks to be trapped in these thorns among these swords. Wow. Oh, but then there's hope, because there's a hummingbird in the middle that has light around it. So I think it's about having hope even in dark times. The third card is the Lovers. That's a nice card. I think for the Lovers card, it could mean an actual romantic relationship, or it could also mean balancing out different parts of yourself that complement each other well. So that's a little bit brighter. That's nice. Okay, the fourth card is the Chariot. Chariot is being pulled by unicorns in this case, and it looks like it's going over the ocean with a crab and some sea turtles at the bottom. And then there's a castle kind of in the clouds behind them. Sometimes I think the Chariot means that you're supposed to balance out the different ruling parts of your personality. Like you have to make sure different parts of your personality can go in the same direction. I think that's one of the traditional meanings of the Chariot. But I don't know, the woman who's in the Chariot seems very noble. She seems very open to whatever experience may bring her. So that's interesting. It's like she's leading the Chariot with the help of these unicorns, but she's also open to new experiences. And the fifth card is Nine of Wands. This one is a man is riding some kind of beast, but it's a very nice looking, kind of mythical, noble beast. It's interesting. So again, this is very noble. It's like someone who's prepared to face life in a way that works well for him, and in a way that is, we could say, inspiring in a positive way, and just very noble in the best sense. Like, not noble as being too proper and too perfectionist, but noble in a sense of being able to face things with a sense of elegance that actually works well and helps the situation. So if I look at these cards as a whole, it seems like we're definitely starting off with these ominous cards at the start of the reading, and then it definitely gets better because we have two major arcana cards with the Lovers and the Chariot, and then we have another kind of noble card, the Nine of Wands. It seems to go well with the Chariot card. So that's really interesting. I don't know exactly what this means, but I mean, it's open to interpretation, right? It's really interesting. I think whenever I'm working with tarot or oracle cards, I'm definitely trying to balance out a sense of my intellectual mind and my mystical side of my mind, because I believe in a lot of different spiritual ideas, but at the same time I'm skeptical. So I'm always kind of having this give and take between different ideas, and it works out for me because I feel like I get to stay grounded in reality, yet I daydream a lot and I have a lot of big ideas. So I think that can work. Hopefully. Okay, now I'm going to draw 3 goddess cards, and this doesn't necessarily go with the other cards. We'll just see what 3 goddess cards appear. Just going to shuffle a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. These are really beautiful cards. You can see the backs of the cards have kind of like angel wings. They're really beautiful. The first goddess card is the Goddess of Protection. I can't pronounce her name very well. Kishi Jotun, Goddess of Protection, and it says, "Those you love most are divinely protected." That's a very positive message. Goddess of Protection. The second goddess card is Frika. She's the Goddess of Sovereignty, and it says, "You can be foremost among women. Take aim to reach your goals." That's a very positive card as well. It's fun to look up the different meanings of goddesses. I'm not an expert on goddess knowledge, but it's very fun to learn about new goddesses. And the third card of the goddess cards is Urda. She's the goddess of the earth, and it says, "Look to the earth for answers." Great, well, I can definitely tell that the goddess cards are very different than the Shadowscapes Tarot. With the Shadowscapes Tarot, we had some ominous, shadowy cards, and then we had some noble cards about balance and about facing life experiences openly. And then we got some really positive messages from the goddess cards Messages are protection, sovereignty, and the earth. And the messages are, those you love most are divinely protected. You are foremost among women. Take aim to reach your goals, and look to the earth for answers. So I hope you got some positive inspiration from the reading today, and I hope the rest of your week or your weekend goes really well. Thanks a lot. Bye.